Let me tell you about the tools that I'm going to make available to you to generate the leads that you need for your business based on what you've told me in terms of your aspirations, the opportunities that you see in the marketplace, the types of leads that you want to buy, and the times that you want to buy them in. And as Gunnar said, we are already, and all of our research indicates the same thing that he indicated, which is that we have got to move away from an annual contract into a much more flexible, pay-as-you-go, volume discount-oriented, payment model. The notion that we can ask one of our customers today to make a bet for a year in the current economic environment defies reason. And, the bottom line is that most of our customers would like to buy from us 1 month at a time if they could. Today, in some of our products, we can make that promise, but in many of the products that we have today, we can't. And over the course of the next 6 months, we will convert all of our products to a model in which we are able to sell people short-term products. The other thing is that we believe that one of the things that we'll see is that we're moving into a marketplace where seasonal products and demand-based products will become an increasingly important part of the mix. Today, when we go into an advertiser to sell them a print product, we sell them what is, in essence, a low common denominator product. It's what we call a continuity product. It contains the copy points necessary to drive business for their core business activities across the course of the year, but it neither gives them the flexibility nor the opportunity to basically take advantage of business that is seasonally oriented and that is opportunistically oriented. And so we leave money on the table every time we walk out of an advertiser's shop today. Okay. So if you look at our traditional products, all of us started in the print business where we sold fixed space, fixed time, fixed price, no guarantee, no ROI types of products. And this worked very well for us, as I said, while we controlled that particular food chain, and there weren't any alternatives. And when most of us built our IYP products, Switchboard being exception because we didn't have any printed products, we said, well, what works for us in print will work for us well in online as well. And so we sold annual, fixed price, fixed time, fixed space, no guarantees products. And the problem with this is that it didn't allow the advertiser to basically flex their business to their capacity. They couldn't buy the leads when they needed to. They had to commit to leads in circumstances where they didn't necessarily need them. When Google came along, it turned this model upside down in many respects because basically the advertiser could manage they could flex the capacity by managing their space, time, and pricing matrix to buy leads, as they needed them, and based in many respects on their efficiency as lead converters because people pay much more money at the top of that food chain than they do at the bottom in many cases. The efficient businesses typically are willing to buy at the top because they are more prepared and more able to convert the leads. So performance in this sense for many of our advertisers really nets down to their ability to actually do the transaction if they get the leads. When I ran AutoByTel's business for a couple of years before I came to Yell, we were a big market maker in automotive leads in the U.S. We probably aggregated and sold half the leads. Our advertisers didn't care where they came from. Okay? What they cared about was how they performed. Typically, in our marketplace, we had about 4,500 car dealers in the U.S. The smaller single rooftop car dealers only process 50% of their leads. The efficient multi-rooftop car dealers typically process close to 80% of their leads. That is, they got in touch with the customer and they actually had a conversation with them. So there was a big discrepancy in terms of the performance efficiency of the advertisers that we were dealing with in terms of their ability to convert those leads into business. And this is something that as we all move into a lead-oriented business is going to be a very important part of the mix because it's partly perception, but it's also partly performance on the part of our advertisers in terms of their ability to convert those leads that will reflect on us as a successful partner and provider to those advertisers. The thing about Google's ads, is that they work really, really well if you actually have a closed loop like we did. They're not quite as efficient for small merchants because basically they're denominated in clicks. And for small business advertisers, and I was one for a number of years, clicks don't make a lot of difference, phone calls do. It's really about making the telephone ring and making it ring with the right type of business. So where all this is going to lead to, and where all of it's leading now, as you've heard already today, and you'll hear no doubt more today, is towards performance-based models, either call-based models or form-based lead models that are effectively media agnostic and that allow the advertiser to basically flex their business to their capacity to handle the leads, both in terms of pure performance and their ability to convert them, but also in terms of their opportunities in the marketplace today. And to a completely transparent ROI equation, which, as I'll go into, is both good and bad for everybody in this space, whether they're online or print, because not all leads are created equal, and not all advertisers are either. So, in essence, what we're in the process of doing collectively is moving the attributes associated with that performance model back down the food chain that we control. So if we sell Google advertising as we do today, every Google advertisement that we sell, or every package that we sell to our customers, landing page package, has a metered telephone number in it. Every one of our IYP ads now has a metered telephone number in it. I think we are probably among the largest issuers of metered phone numbers in the industry today. We have in excess of 100,000 metered phone numbers today across our roughly 500,000 customers. We're adding them at a rate of about 2,000 a week. All right. By the end of next year, we will probably have metered roughly 75% of our advertiser base across all of these products, and we will extend those metered numbers to each one of the media that we bring into the mix as we generate new leads for advertisers. You know, this is a very calculated strategy on our part to try to basically get an understanding for our own purposes of what the landscape of leads looks like out there, but it's also a very intentional strategy on our part to basically establish some type of benchmarking across all the different media that we're aggregating and selling to our advertisers. And there are good parts of that and bad parts of it, as I will go into as we go through this. Okay. And I guess the message is that we're on a journey that's not going to stop until we get to the end of it. You know, there are a lot of control points in terms of exactly the velocity that we are willing to travel down this road. But the marketplace within the next 5 years is going to be very, very transparent. And the people who will succeed in it are going to be people who are able to both represent accurately the ROI and manage the expectations of their advertisers and the performance of their advertisers in terms of converting the leads that they sell them into business. Okay, so the flip side of this, so if you go back for a second and you think about this, essentially what we're talking about is a move from advertising as a product to transactional products or transactional, packages of leads. And when you think about the flip side of this, which is the presentation products, what you're really talking about is now being in a situation where you're harnessing all of the traffic potential of all the different sources of traffic that are out there, be they search engines, advertising networks, mobile devices, vertical